How we doing, all my dukes and duchesses? Wilhelm Duke here, the Swedish American rapper, and today we are talking about muso soup. Not miso soup if you like Chinese food, but no, muso soup. That's M-U-S-O and soup spelled like soup, S-O-U-P. Now, is this a music industry hack or is this a music industry scam? And I break it down, my experience, and if I think it's worth it for the everyday average independent recording artist to utilize to help boost their career, boost their streams, visibility, exposure, as well as also their written media about them. That being said, Muso Soup. I was put on to Muso Soup by a good friend of mine in the music industry who we had a lot of conversations about whether or not a video like this should be made, but ultimately we decided that, utilize the platform, see what works, what doesn't work, and then let some time pass, and then ultimately make a good, valuable piece of content for all my dukes and duchesses out there watching this. And if you are a duke or a duchess who also happens to be a recording artist, then this is very valuable information because we are talking about playlisting, essentially. I mean, we're talking about playlisting. So, what is Muso Soup? Essentially, Muso Soup is a platform that serves as a marketplace. It's a platform that serves as a marketplace where we see the intersection of Spotify playlist curators and independent music media journalists, and then recording artists that, recording artists that happen to know about the platform. Because I'll be honest, when I was put onto this, I was very unaware, ignorant, had no idea about it. Now, I had heard about things like Submit Hub, but Submit Hub to me, I didn't see the value, even though a lot of things on Submit Hub are like $5, $10, $15. I know it scales quite considerably. But, I knew it was pay to play. I'll just put it out there. It's essentially pay to play. You have to you pay an upfront fee so that Muso Soup can run a campaign on your song or project. Now, what happens when you run this campaign is that Muso Soup sends it to their list of curators, and curators can either decide to accept or reject your project. For a lot of curators will reject simply because it's not the genre they're looking for, or it's not the aesthetic or the taste that goes along with their platform. You will get a lot of platforms accepting your project, and the idea is that they listen to the song before pressing accept or reject. But obviously, given the nature of the internet and social media platforms, a lot of these curators, they just want more money, so they're going to press accept, even if they haven't listened to your record. And a lot of them will give a generic reason why they're accepting your record, and you just have to kind of go along with it. I might have seen one or two actually what looked like uniquely original writing, so that was nice. But basically, you essentially pay $50 and Muso Soup sends your project to all of these curators. Now, the ones that accept your project, they will give you a free option. Now, the free option is usually placement on their Spotify playlist. And these Spotify playlists are really small, most of them. So they're quite organic. You're not going to get very many streams. At most, you might get 50 to 100 streams, but then it's going to cap at that. And a lot of these playlists, you'll get posted on there and you might rack up anywhere from a stream to 8 or 9 streams, literally. But that's not a bad thing either, because if you're going to get streams, I just want them to be organic, authentic, real, not botted, right? And so you can choose the free option, which is typically a Spotify playlisting on an organic, small niche playlist, or a lot of times maybe an Instagram story post or a Twitter repost or something of that nature. After you pay the $50, the curators that accept your project, a lot of them will have tiers of deeper and larger campaigns that you can choose to pay into. So a lot of these are like placement on a bigger playlist. How we doing, all my dukes and duchesses? Wilhelm Duke here, the Swedish American rapper. If you haven't already, please like, please comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Consider joining my memberships. There's a lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline, including exclusive music, visuals, and music industry insider information. Anyways, picking up where we left off, every curator is going to have tiers of more attractive offers that you're going to have to pay a little bit extra for, usually 5, 10, 15, 20, depending on the nature of what it is. Again, Spotify playlisting, Instagram posts, Twitter posts, website write-ups, blogs, interviews, and different press packages of that nature. But the reason why I decided to experiment with MUSOSOUP and run a campaign on my single FLG, which is produced by Tay Rose out in Cali, shout out, mixed by Jeff Aronson over at Classic Studios, shout out. Great record, FLG, flow like Gatorade. Anyways, I ran a campaign on this record, and I did get a couple hundred extra streams. And you might be thinking like, oh well, $50 for a couple hundred streams, that's whack. Yeah, but real streams from real people that follow these very small independent music curators. So I'd rather have that, honestly, than anything botted, because we know that Spotify and DistroKid do takedowns, and it's really not a copacetic time for independent recording artists when it comes to managing their catalog online, because they're at the whim of a lot of these places. Even a website, you're at the whim of domain and different domains and hosting and things like that. But MUSOSOUP, in music industry scam or music industry hack? Well, I definitely don't think it's a scam, because I do think you get what you pay for. And it also is dope because the platform, because it acts as the intersection, music and merchants and music commerce, you will establish some rapport and relationships with these curators, and you'll get some follows back on social media. You'll get some more in-depth conversations. Some of them will be quite human when interacting with you on the platform. So overall, no, I would say it's a music industry hack. I would say, know what you're paying for. You're not gonna get famous using MUSOSOUP. You're not gonna rack up thousands of streams, but you're gonna get real engagement, small time engagement. But that's important, though, especially for any recording artist starting out, and even a recording artist that's been in it for a while, to establish some sort of feedback loop about their music, because that's really what we're doing as musicians when we're building fan bases. We're creating a really gigantic feedback loop of either the music is eternally lauded and it's considered classic, or it's divisive and maybe doesn't have the staying power that you think it does. But we as artists, we love what we do, and we either will look back and hate our records or love our records. You know what I mean? I guess it just depends on your perspective. But in a nutshell, that's MUSOSOUP, and I hope you found this video valuable and informational. And I hope you liked all the screenshots that I was bringing up about my personal experience with MUSOSOUP. And yeah, thank you. Shout out all my Dukes and Duchesses. I'm so glad you guys are joining me. I'm going to do more of these videos giving back to the music community and giving them insight on different tools and different things that I use, and try to help grow, nurture, give back. And hopefully all of us in the Regal family can just learn and grow together. But again, I'm really grateful for all my Dukes and Duchesses. The level that this channel is at now, with everything that I'm doing, whether you're here for my music, my freestyles, my live performances, my basketball takes, whatever you're here for, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and please consider joining my memberships, because a lot of exclusive things coming to my Dukes and Duchesses, my Counts and Countesses, and my Barons and Baronesses on my memberships. Y'all join my memberships, for real. I couldn't be more excited about my memberships. Anyways, love all my Dukes, love all my Duchesses. We're all regal, we're all royal. And yeah, I'm so grateful that I get to do this, and there's a lot more on the way. Peace out.